Hey guys, it's Bree, and it's Saturday, which of course means it's time for another sketchbook tour. I'm low-key still trying to figure out my camera settings to go live streaming on Monday, so stay tuned for that, hopefully eventually. Per usual, it's a Canson XL Mix Media, the little 8x5.5 whatever one, and this started on April 6th, I think I bought it, and of course this is around the time Animal Crossing came out, so enjoy these crazy villagers. I definitely am redrawing some of those fish ones on the left, so stay tuned for those. I'm really excited for that. So, usually the first pages I just kind of paste and start doodling right away, and that's a Life Water label, I'm pretty sure, from work. So, and then I picked up a set of Tombow markers. I like them, they're very pretty colors, but I don't like that they're not waterproof, so I don't use them as much anymore. So they're kind of collecting dust. And this is the year I think I made my big purchase of Daniel Smith watercolors. I got one of those dot sheets where you can see all of the colors that they have. So I was swatching all the colors I owned already, and then I was trying to swatch the colors I saw on that sheet. Then I eventually purchased those. So it was kind of this crazy swatch like pages. So enjoy those. I really enjoy making swatch pages. So you'll probably see them all throughout the sketchbook, which as I'm saying it, you turn the page, and I'm pretty sure I list all the colors I ended up getting, which I don't think I ended up purchasing them from any particular store. I went on eBay and purchased them in like some kind of bulk assortment, which I still have plenty of those tubes to this day. Then this is my favorite spread right here. I'm definitely redrawing this Moon Mermaid as we speak, and that on the right page is my favorite mermaid. I ended up doing like a shell sticker of it. I want to redraw it for sure and do it again and make more stickers of these two. They're so pretty, and I love how they came out, which you'll obviously the artwork at the end, but oh, I love it so much. Then I hadn't started out printing out prompts apparently in this, and I just kind of wrote it down and went with it. I want to say the left page was some assorted Turner watercolors I had gotten from a friend. I don't remember. But here I am creating like weird stamp ideas. That is a thank you note from, I think his name is Dalton here, or not here, on Instagram, and he draws Pokemon, and that's like a little thank you note. So there's that palette I had done like a swatch sheet for earlier, and I ended up putting it in an old Winsor Newton palette, and I really, really enjoy it. It's very pretty. It's very dark though, so I don't think I use it for this at all, really. Then I start the prompts. I ended up doing some Neopet mermaids, so shout out to anybody who loved Neopets and maybe still plays, because I check on them occasionally and my Neopets are still starving. So here's another sticker idea, because my car's name is Ariel. She's very cute, and a mermaid sticker would just be perfect. And driving makes me nervous, so if you can read that, it means back up a little, you know? So this is definitely like reference from something off of Pinterest, I remember, especially because I was trying to figure out poses, but I honestly, you could probably look at all of my Pinterest boards at this point and find all my inspos. So I drew that Ursula, which I don't have the finished piece anymore because it's with my mom, and I think I ended up drawing this Sun Mermaid, but not as a finished piece, I feel like. But either way, here's my Lisa Frank mermaid. I started drawing with like neon watercolors from my, I think my Holbein set, if I remember correctly, but I enjoy all of these. I like the paper especially too, because considering how much watercolor I put down on this paper, it takes it really well. And obviously, sketching super easy because the paper is like mixed media, so it's smooth and it's not like super textured like the one I'm using now. I think is just straight watercolor paper. So I'm struggling just a little bit, but here is my sim character that I created that year, Naomi. I think this is the year I created her actually, because I got the mermaid or island expansion for Sims 3. So here she is. I drew her little tail with like this rainbow pencil you'll see me use more of at the end of the sketchbook, but I was drawing with gradients. I did Ponyo's mom. I don't think I finished her in this one, but I want to say 2 years later I might have. I can't remember, but here I was drawing Lore Olympus art. Oh my gosh, this was definitely a year I was like binge reading Lore Olympus because I'd read it on Tumblr originally. I could go on and on about my love for Lore Olympus, so if anybody ever wants me to do a Lore Olympus like fan art video where I can gush and talk about all the characters, I would love to, because I love their art book. Ugh, I just love it. I have only volume 1 so far on my shelf, but on the webtoon I'm fully caught up. So here I think I tried drawing hands, and I don't think I successfully got through with those hands because I hate drawing hands so much, which that's my number one thing I really need to work on. So a lot of these I end up finishing in my Mossery one that you've probably already seen now that I'm thinking about it. So this one, okay, so this paper is not meant to take marker, that's for sure. And I learned very quickly. I mean, it worked like the bleed through wasn't terrible as you can see here, but those are Arteza alcohol markers, so I know my Copic markers would like obviously tear this paper up. So I will not be trying that anytime soon. So I'll stick to my microns, my ballpoint pens in this, and obviously my Colorase pencils. So I can tell at some points where I start to get like antsy and want to just fill some pages here with like my ballpoint pen. If you see like a slew of like sketches like this, I'm looking probably at your character here basis, trying to practice poses, or Shutterstock actually. I don't think I've mentioned that I use Shutterstock a lot. I just have a board of like mermaid like kind of character looking poses. So here's a Sailor Moon one I would love to actually flesh out in like a full piece. So I was gonna do it for Moon, but I really like that Moon piece I had drawn over and over again. So that will be my redraw, sadly. But I definitely want to try kind of mixing the whole aerial transformation with the Sailor Moon one. I think that's really cool. So here I am trying, just looking at this pose struggle is hilarious to me. I don't even want to talk about it. So here I am getting into my OCs. This is like me drawing late at night because I was playing Sims and I just wanted to create like a place where I drawn all of my characters that I created. So this is Clary. She's like a garden fairy. I love her. Naomi, as you've seen, she's a mermaid and she literally is a marine biologist. I made her goal to like clean up the whole island system. So that's Roxy, and I think I made her in like city living because she's like a punk rocker and she lives with her roommate Ezra, who's like kind of like a grunge artsy kind of girl. I love her. Her colors like in her outfits are really cute. So here is my favorite mom. I think her name's Fresca, right? Fresca. And I love her curls. And her wife is so pretty. Their colors together because Fresca wears a lot of green and Hazel's more muted. Like she's bright and she's not. I just love them together. And the daughters, I think I end up drawing a few pages after. They're so cute. Here's more like reference from Pinterest easily. I can tell where I've like sat down and just started doodling. This is Basil. That's their their oldest daughter. Her all of her stuff is green. I'm so embarrassed because this is clearly like late night sim creating and I'm just drawing all the characters I'm creating, which is what happens when I'm bored, obviously, and run out of inspiration. But I definitely had fun, and I miss kind of playing Sims and drawing more of. Oh, there's Basil again and Adeline. I really miss drawing like all the characters I create, but I don't end up playing the game because I spend so much time, building a character. So I digress. I ended up drawing a lot of those characters in the end. So I skipped over mermaids, but here I'm drawing more poses, trying to draw a lot of hair. I'm not really good with like kind of coming up with hairstyles on the fly, so I'm trying to get better at that for the most part. But I do like how most of these came out because I started just kind of rotating with the colored pencils in my pencil bag, and I want to say they're all Faber-Castell ones I got on vacation actually, and I just kind of started picking up my pen and just drawing because I knew I wanted to finish the sketchbook so badly, so I could just shove it on my shelf and just call it a day. So I think this is when I started getting like the Pentel Sparkle Pop pens, and those were fun to draw with. I don't think I use them a lot in my planners or my sketchbooks anymore because of the smudging. So I think that's why I stopped and started using those rainbow pencils. I don't remember if it's any particular brand. I want to say I have a lot of Corinar, like rainbow ones. And oh, of course, my cat wants to scratch at the wall right next to me. Pardon him. Oh my gosh, he wants in. Excuse me. I can't do a single voiceover without one cat or child, somebody checking on me, of course. So, anyway, here I am I really truly am just pulling poses and references, trying to just fill this, as you can see, sketchbook up with, oh, I use the Pentel Pop again. It smudges just a little bit and it takes a second to dry. So, you probably recognize this paint because I definitely used it in my Moss Rico sketchbook and smeared it everywhere. So, I definitely just kind of wanted to fill this and get it over with, but I do actually enjoy some of these hairstyles, so I think doing this will help me more often. So I probably will sit down with my sketchbook later and do that because it definitely helped me span out more. But that's the end of Mermay 2020, the sketchbook. I'm so proud of myself for actually finishing a sketchbook for once, but and the art with it. I'm hoping you'll enjoy. So here I am starting to show you my lovely artwork. I want to say for the most part, all of these are on my B watercolor paper, and the very large ones are still those big fluid paper blocks. So Starting off strong per usual, self-portrait mode. I definitely just redrew this, so if you are following along on Instagram, I just redrew my self-portrait for the year, and I'm actually redrawing this cutie, who I definitely want to frame. I don't know what kind of frame I should put her in, maybe like a clear one, but I love the granulation of watercolor on this paper. The Daniel Smith, plus, of course, if you don't know, I go out to the ocean and I collect some water and use it to paint on this watercolor paper, and I just feel like it just adds something and makes it kind of, with all the salt and stuff, it kind of just granulates just a little bit more for me, and I just like it better. So, of course, I draw Ariel because she's my favorite and my number one reason for ever starting drawing. So, I always have to draw Ariel, which means I have to remind myself to start sketching that out. Here is one of my favorite redraws because May the 4th is also during Mermay. So I draw Padme, and I actually just drew her in her red kind of outfit. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I'm very excited to post that later. But anyway, so here's the Sunset Mermaid. I don't really like the face as much as I probably could. I definitely want to redraw it, but the sunset colors and the vibrancy, I love it so much. I just love getting those colors. So here's my sunbathing mermaid, of course. My Kali Rose in full effect. Any type of metallic shimmer you see on these mermaids are most likely Kali Rose. I want to say I also purchased my Paul Rubens this year. So if I see when I used that on a singular mermaid, I think I remember one I just used an entire palette for. So that one was mostly masking fluid magic. So that tail was only due to the power of masking fluid. Then this is, I think that's just like my sleepover mermaid. I can't remember the prompts, honestly, off the top of my head, which is sad because that's why I liked printing out those prompts so much. There's my Persephone mermaid with her pretty metallic pink, like, tail. I love the picture I referenced this from where she's sitting on the roof. It looks so cute, and I love her with the little purple sky in the background. Then I have this pretty, another sunset-y kind of piece. I love her hair. I just love everything about it. And the cover sticker that you saw in the sketchbook is this is the redraw of that. So I want to redraw it again, hopefully, but I don't know if I'll like it as much as I like that one. But more Neopet mermaids. Shout out to, shout out to my Neopets who are probably starving, and I might need to just log on and feed them because I have access to my account still, sadly. So they are just sitting there waiting, and I love using Neopets. So, actually, this is where my Paul Rubens, my Paul Rubens arrived. So I used this metallic, like, shimmery white color that came in it for effect on that one singular mermaid. This one is a galaxy one. I can't remember what. I think I used masking fluid on the star and then tried to paint around it from there, and that's why the mermaid's mostly just blue in general because I wasn't trying to remove the blue from that and do her like skin color essentially. So this one I want to say is finished, but personally I feel like I didn't actually get to finish this piece. It's just I ended up posting it and calling it a day because I wanted to be finished with it. But one day maybe I'll redraw it. I do enjoy it because of, watercolor and granulation. It's just one of my favorite things, I guess. So per usual, me using neon pink watercolors, I can't help it. I don't know how I feel about the chunky highlighting thing I was doing at the time. So this is a draw this in your style challenge piece that I fully finished this year. I had gotten this like sketch and arches watercolor paper, and I couldn't let it go to waste. So this is the finished product of a sketchbook page that I finished. So I do really enjoy it a lot. Then here is my Lisa Frank mermaid where I used my whole Paul Rubens, all of the pretty little gem colors there on the tail and the shell. I love how it came out, and I definitely want to break out that palette again soon. Then, of course, if I drew Ariel, I had to draw Melody, which I just drew her again for the prompt upside down. So I love seeing the just kind of evolution of me continuously redrawing these characters. So this is when I got a Haikala art box and was just kind of playing around with all the supplies and the kind of just techniques I was looking at with the products she was using in the box. So I definitely enjoyed doing that, and I redrew it the following year, which you'll see next weekend. So here, I don't even remember what the prompt was here, but I definitely was having fun with all of my new Daniel Smith watercolors, as you can see, and of course my ocean water. So I love how everything came out that year. I definitely have some I want to redraw. Let me know which one's your favorite. I hope you enjoyed watching and I hope you like these weekend kind of like sketchbook tours and whatnot. And hopefully I get the camera set up and I will see you guys, hopefully, fingers crossed, on Monday. Bye, guys.